Well, hello, fiber friends. I hope you are in a good headspace today, and I hope you had a productive week last week, or you are looking forward to a productive week coming up. My name is Abby. I am happy to be here with you guys. So the first thing I'm going to do is share with you what I completed last week, and then I'm also going to share what is coming up for next week. I have a Beatles festival coming up in just under 3 weeks, and I have set a goal to make $1,000 in inventory, and I made a little table that I will share with you in the description. And I also did a little like luck of the draw thing, which I will hopefully remember to show you the first one at the end of the video to possibly get started tonight and finish tomorrow. As I have 19 days and there are 18 slips in here because of life be life, and I get 1 day of falling behind, but I think for a lot of them it's feasible. And anyway, so let me jump in. This week, or it's Sunday, whatever, past last week, this week, I had 3 pattern tests on my calendar. Now some aren't due for a little while, but I also committed to the Beatles Fest, so I was like, all right, let me knock out these 3 pattern tests. The first one, I'm still blown away that I was chosen to do it, is the lion pattern from Stacy Makes Fancy Pants collection. And I was chosen to do the dress. And here she is. She is so cute. And I love the little back of her dress doing the little crisscross. One thing that I learned from this pattern is a very tidy way to do these feet. Like, they're nice and flat. And honestly, at this point I don't remember exactly what I did, but I will definitely be referring back to this pattern in the future because I just really like how the shape of these feet are kind of like flat on the bottom, and there's a little bit more like distinction between the feet and the leg. I did add an extra round of ruffles with increases to make the skirt a little longer and frillier. And then I kind of feel like a jerk because there are instructions for a mane, and my brain was going, lionesses don't have manes, so I left it off. But the other people doing the dress style gave theirs a mane, and I'm just like, I don't want to be, I just kind of feel like I was being a smartass. And I'm sorry if I came across to anybody that way, but I also, like, when I finished the face, I was like, this is such a perfect, sweet lioness face, and I don't want to mess with it. And so the mane was at the end of the pattern, and I'm the worst for not reading a pattern before starting it, because a lot of times it doesn't even make sense to me until I actually like start working it. I know it says like read the whole thing before you start. I don't do that. But this is pattern test number 1, highly recommended. I used Adorable from Hobby Lobby, not my favorite store to shop at, but our Michaels right now is hopeless, and I wanted to be able to say exactly what yarn I used for the pattern. And to do the tumbler test, she is shorter than a tumbler, and this is a pretty normal it's not, I call it my manly cup. It's not a Stanley, but a little bit smaller than a normal, I don't know how many ounces that is. So here's number 1. The second one is from Cottage Lore _ crochet. I have a terrible habit of responding to every single tester call because I feel like the chances of getting selected are so low, especially when you see that, you know, something has like 500 comments. I don't expect to be selected, and then sometimes I'm surprised when I do, and then suddenly I ended up with 3 to get done. This one is a Victorian ghost doll. Now, I don't do creepy, and that is the intent. And I saw it and I was like, I don't really do creepy. I don't do those white pupil eyes because they creep me out. It's just not my thing. Like, I'm not prepping for a Halloween market like a lot of other people are. I have nothing against Halloween. I know some people have religious objections to do it. That's not why. It's just not my jam. So creepy is not really my thing. So I did make a Victorian doll. I'm not sure how ghosty she is though, but she is gorgeous. Take a look at her. I gotta back up because she's a big girl. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so the tumbler only goes to like the middle of her head. I really enjoyed this pattern. I am certain this blue yarn is Bernat in the color dark teal because I bought it to do the yellow mushroom for this week. I will be showing you. And I'm pretty certain that the other colors are Bernat because I feel similar, but you know, because I like to buy at people's stashes and a lot of stuff's unlabeled, I can assume that it's Bernat, but I really can't like be 100% certain. So a couple things I really love about this pattern. Number one, she has thumbs. How cool is that? Can you see it? And the dress has the frills like on the bottom and on the cuffs and then on the neck, which really did stabilize the neck. Oh, this and the lion are kind of different patterns because for both, I sewed up the top and the bottom of the head before sewing it onto the body, which is kind of unusual. I find that a lot of patterns, there's maybe like 18 stitches open at the bottom of the head and the top of the body, and then you sew them together. But both times, this head actually even worked from bottom up, which was different. I didn't have sinker backs for these eyes, but then to zhuzh them up a little bit, I did give her some eyelashes. I don't know if you can see it yet. Maybe a little bit. I gave her a little like highlight underneath as well, but those are kind of hard to, yeah, well, maybe you can see it. You don't want to do too many and then you don't want to like hide it completely. And at one point I think it was even like under the glitter disc and I was trying to fix it. So, but she's so beautiful. And, oh, can you see like she's got a little bow on her neck? It's kind of hard to see on the camera. Start with the arm. Oh, you start with the head. And then the arms. This was, I think this is no sew. Started with the head, the arms. No, you sew the head onto the body. And I remember the first night I had very little time to get any crocheting done, so all I had done day one was the head and one arm, and then I had to call it for the day. And then it took, the next day I was able to do the rest of it. So you do the arms, and then you do one leg, and of course you do the second leg and attach them, go up the body. I realized earlier that 2 out of my 3 pattern tests had dresses on. So same way, they've got their little, you know, they've got their Spanx on underneath their dress. And I really enjoyed learning how to do the hair for this. And I also realized when I was working on her that I've only done like one other pattern ever that was even remotely human, and it was a mermaid, and I really didn't like the hair and I didn't like the way I had to do it, and I'm not going to give it away because this is going to be a paid pattern, but I feel like, look at this. I love it. And it did require me using, I don't have ammy sticks, I've got knitting needles. I mean, I did like pin it to her head to sew it on, but it was so much easier than I thought it would be. So I just love her. And I'm going to talk about this in a little bit. I think she is going to go to the Beatles Fest with me because I am making some Rocky Raccoons. And you know, like Rocky Raccoon has that like Wild West feel to it. So kind of like late 19th century, which I think this could pass as clothing for that time. So she might be the girl in that song. I'm not going to say it because it's going to stick in your head. Like it's been in my head all day. So I'm going to refrain from the lyrics from the song, but you're absolutely welcome to Google them later. So what do you think, guys? Pattern test number 2, cottage lore _ crochet, 10 out of 10 for both of these patterns, really. And pattern test number 3, I do not have permission from the author to show it to you yet, so I am going to wait. I did ask on the chat, like, hey, I understand it's not due yet. Can I talk about it on social media? And I don't have an answer, and that's okay because it's not due yet. So I will wait on that one. But what I will say is that it is I don't say plushy, but I mean, it's a stuffed animal done in acrylic. And because that's what the pattern called for, and I still have more acrylic yarn than I could ever use in a lifetime. And so I wanted to follow the instructions on the pattern, and it also, and, you know, it just kind of like looks like an acrylic type thing. Every row had a color change from toes to the top of the head. The only time I cheated was the tail, because I was not going to do a color change every 6 stitches. It took me all day Saturday until about 9:30 in the evening, because my daughter wanted to watch K-pop Demon Hunters with me, and when a 17-year-old says, "Mom, I want to watch K-pop Demon Hunters with you," you do it. And so then I woke up this morning and pretty much worked on it all day until maybe like 4 o'clock. I mean, it's like the only thing I did this weekend was work on this crochet make. I do not regret it. It's very, very cute, but okay, don't do, so I'll have to wait. And then, so the next thing on my list for last week was to participate in crochet roulette, and I did. Last week's spins were yellow mushroom, and I used a pattern by the Friendly Red Fox. I think the pattern is great, so he's a good size. I really like the way you do the cap. Like you do, did I sew it on? I don't remember. No, you don't. And actually, because again, I don't always read the whole pattern, you're supposed to put your hook in the top of the head and catch some stitches, but I sealed up the head and I kind of have tight tension anyway, so I was like really careful not to like leave any gaps. And then I realized, oh, to start with the mushroom cap, you have to pull up some stitches. I ended up just doing I don't think I kind of hit it. Well, you can see it in the camera. I ended up just putting a row of acrylic and then attaching to that because there was no way I was going to be able to stick like a size, I think it was a 6, into those tight stitches to keep going. So I ended up like, I can't pull it up, but you go out and then change color to the blue and then back in, which it was really different. So the Friendly Red Fox, check it out. I like his little eyebrows and his smile. I saw everybody else's yellow mushroom, and I think I just took it way too literally. Like I was thinking like yellow body, and then I was trying to find a color that popped with the yellow. And I do like how these two colors go together, but so many people did just like a white body with a yellow cap, which looks a little bit more expected colors for a mushroom boy, but somebody who loves yellow is going to love him. The last thing that I had on the docket for this week was to write the pattern for the octo that I brought to the market that I did last weekend, because it really turned out great, but I modified it a little bit and then started working on it a little more, and I rushed to put it on Instagram. And I just want to say thank you to Tracy for pointing out that I had a mistake in the pattern. So I did end up deleting it, and it's gonna just be at a later time that I'm going to try writing it up again. I'm gonna show you. So one thing, I tried to make the head bigger, being the Goldilocks pattern just right. I thought, I could add a few more rows to the head, and I think an octo needs to be a little bit more elongated. So even as I was like putting it on Instagram, I'm like, I need to add some rows to the head. Like maybe I'll update it later. But I was like, I need to do what I said I was gonna do, and then I ended up messing up anyway. But I also feel like, unlike the first way I did it, it's kind of given jellyfish more than octo, because I did go wider. It's more decreases, and then the tentacles kind of end up being more under it than maybe like around here, like towards, like, the tentacles should probably be like right here. Now when he sits, it does look a little bit better. And I also because I made the head bigger, the tentacles then looked too narrow, again, like giving it jellyfish, not octo. So I started just using some scrap yarn to do some single crochets around the tentacles, which I think is very cute. And you are cute, but you're just not what I was looking for. So it may or may not be done for the Fab Fest. I don't know, because I still have to do these last tentacles, and so that is coming. All right, next part of the video, I have come up with a plan to create $1,000 in inventory of items that are 100% Beatles inspired. So bear with me, and I'm gonna actually look at my computer for a second. I'm gonna share this document with you because that's easier than popping it up on the screen. I came up with 10 things. That was my plan, and then I've also since come up with quantities. So I am going to be making Jojo the cat. Actually, he's already done. From Get Cat. Get it? All right. And then there's also going to be a Sweet Loretta Martin, who was also a cat, because Get Cat to where he once belonged. I am going to make Yellow Submarines. I'm going to make some walrus keychains. I already made one, and it is also doubling as this week's luck of the draw, because the spins that I saw yesterday were sea life and pink. And so a walrus is a sea animal, not an octo. And I'm hoping that my entry this week is a little bit more original. Now it is just like a little tiny 30-minute make, but I'm going to do some full-size octos maybe this week. I don't know. It's going to depend on what I draw. But I have done that. I'm going to make some Rocky Raccoons. Let it be. Get it? Be. I'm going to do Walruses and Eggs. Like the song. Dear Prudence. D-E-E-R. I'm going to be looking at those splitting patterns that I'm seeing everybody else doing. I'm going to be making, and then this is the last one on the list, Maxwell's Silver Lammer. So, yeah. I'm such a nerd. You will see links to the patterns if I've already found them. There are a few that I still need to look up. So, what am I gonna do first, guys? I wrote out what seems to be what I can reasonably get done in a day, but it would not hurt to go ahead and get started after I finish this video. Oh, before I open this, some things I want to make 5 of, but I think that's going to take more than one day. So if I draw something that I think, because on my plan I'm like 2.5 Yellow Submarines, and I don't want to end up with just a bunch of whips. So if I pull Yellow Submarine, I get 2 days to make the 5. I'm not going to do 2.5 and then set them aside for the next time I draw that. I want to be a little bit more organized. And also, as I get them done, I'm going to put them on the table behind me because I paid for table space. It's not, you know, typically a market, you've got your 10 by 10 tent space. I have a 2.5 by 6 table space. And I did ask, like, can I bring my own table? Do you provide it? And they were like, oh, either one's fine. So I think I'm just going to stick with bringing my, well, I already told them. I'm going to bring my own, and then I'm going to, as I'm getting things done, work on my setup. So, all right, here it is. What is it? 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 Oh, it is 2 Rocky Raccoons. I found a pattern. I'm going to have to pay for it. So I'm kind of hoping to do this a little bit vlog style this week and next, to actually be on camera when I pull the piece of paper from this little yogurt jar and then show you when I'm done. I cannot talk and crochet at the same time, so I will not be like showing you actually doing the makes, but I will like draw and then come back when it's done. So thank you guys for tuning in. Again, if you have a goal for this week, please drop it in the comments and then come back in 7 days. Even if you see this way in the future, that's fine, because that's kind of what I like to do. Is I like to present like these are my goals for the week, and then to come back the next week and be accountable for them. And I invite anybody who watches this video to do the same. So y'all listen to some Beatles and enjoy. See you later. Bye.